Is that okay? As we move on, you see, one funny thing I have learned about management and leadership is the fact that it's evolving. It's evolving. It will continue to improve as we a full member, not by representation, a full member of the General Church Council, because we are input. It's really very important. But whatever it is, at the moment, make an impact in the district. ECWA will really appreciate that, and I think God will take the glory and the blessings will be yours in Jesus' name. Is there anything the finance director or any of these issues, either audit director or finance director? Okay, finance director.
Thank you for this opportunity. Just to add to what the ECWA treasurer has said, I think let's look at it from the point of it's a team work. If the other members of the DCC executive that understands that what you're doing is to move ECWA forward, they will cooperate with it. The manner probably in which we execute some of the way we want to get the information, probably somebody thinks you're trying to witch hunting. And I think the major thing that ECWA is planning to do is when new executives are elected, including the treasurer, they will be exposed to training. They will come up here. I think there's a committee working on that. Because your capacity as a treasurer to even have the oversight function on a report you don't even understand is something that we need to work on. That's the critical aspect. I'm sure not all treasurers that are here are financially inclined in training. So even your capacity to play the function that is expected of you is even limited. So I think going forward, like you said, this is the maiden edition, is a starting point. When you are elected, you will be subjected to some basic training in finance that will enhance your capacity to even perform your role. So it is very, very necessary so that the oversight function can be carried out. Some of the things he mentioned here that the treasurer is supposed to be doing is very correct. In the case of ECWA headquarters, like he said, the finance board, like my report, my quarterly report, I need to submit it to the treasurer. He goes through it. He makes his observations as to what we can do subsequently to do it to ensure that we stick within the budget. So it is expected that you, as at the DCC, the quarterly report of the DCC should be given to you, so that during your meeting as the DCC executive, you can make some of the observations that you have. You discuss it at that level. You are even helping the work of the accountant. So it's very important, but I know it might be too drastic for us to say the thing should start immediately, but your capacity first has to be worked on. Then we'll see how we can cooperate. My accountants, we have seminars with them annually. These are some of the things that we need to start making them understand. That technically, they are answerable to you. But administratively, they are answerable to who? To the secretary. Technically, they are answerable to us in JAWS. Now, because probably your capacity for now might not be able to handle some of the reports they have. But I think you still have a very important role to play at the DCC level. You will help us at that level to ensure that the right thing is done. So that when whatever we have here, we are building on whatever the things you have already started. Thank you very much. I think we'll be moving to the... Are we done with your questions? Okay. We'll be moving to the next... the ECWA executive are here. Some of the questions you have presented.
Any comment, Audit Director? Okay. Well, it's my privilege and a great honor to have members of the ECWA executive join us again. Can we please appreciate them? Have the ECWA General Secretary and the ECWA Assistant General Secretary join us again. I'm glad that you are here. Most of the questions, this is really the interactive section now. We just finished with the main paper and the question time. So now is the interactive section. And we've got the questions for interactions here. I will just read some of them and ask you to attempt to answer them. This one says, as the treasurer of the DCC, how do you handle or convince the chairman and the secretary of the DCC when you as a professional or a businessman, you have an advice for some investment in the DCC, but they keep having cold feet towards your advice or not showing any interest to better the growth of the DCC? Let me ask the GS to... He was a former chairman of Kaduna.
Well, you can only pray that the chairman will go. Just like they pray in Kaduna Central that I go, and I left. Well, but really, this is a tough question, because he will tell you the same. And anybody here who is head or who is not a head and working under another head, who doesn't understand the philosophy of what you are saying, you just have to pray and fast. You have to pray and fast. Because some of us are not risk takers. Some of us are very, very afraid of taking risk. We will not take risk of 100